The power from the knowledge comes from the application of it, right? So we got to be able to apply it, the action, right? So how are you applying steps 1, 2, and 3 every single day? How do you do it? And they go, recess lighting. I don't know what's going on up there. Some tile ceiling. I mean, you know what I mean? End up playing soccer. I'm captain of the team. So I get the captain's armband and I tell my team, hey, we're going to take a team building trip. I don't know about you, bro, but the only way I know how to really get to know somebody is to take mushrooms. I make everybody on the team take mushrooms. We lose 2 players in the forest. Finally we have to call coach. We got to call their parents. We ended up finding them. They survived, right? Sell coke to a female soccer player. She's got a defective ventricle in her heart, had a heart attack, almost died, right? Got it from me. Cops come, they draw me down at gunpoint. I try to take off, so I get arrested. And when it's all said and done, I catch a 3.5-year prison sentence. I'm on probation. I'm not doing anything because I'm on probation. Then I get out probation. The book tells me exactly what that is. It says, fall victim to a belief which practically every alcoholic has, that his long period of sobriety and self-discipline qualified him to drink like other men. I can go to Vegas, not a big deal. I go to Vegas with my best friend. We're there for one night. Once you hear the rest of the story, 8-year prison sentence.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to our Plugged In Recovery podcast. I am super excited this week. We have a good friend of mine and somebody else in the treatment space who I look up to and respect, has been in the game a little longer than us, but definitely feels my exact battles. Jason Inserra, we have him here with Desert Recovery Center. So stay tuned today. We have a lot of great stuff we're going to talk about, and we're glad you're joining us.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on the show, dude. And anytime there's a couple people that when I see them, I just know, exactly what I'm feeling, and I don't even have to say it, because just like with Plugged In and Desert, we're, founders. We do the licensing on it. We do operations on it. We do staffing on it. We watch collections on it. Marketing, the podcast. There's just so much to it, dude. And the lack of sleep and what it takes to be successful, it always stems all the way back to recovery. And then you're a 12-step guy, and that's my language. So, man, thank you for having me on, and it's just a pleasure to be out here today. So thank you.
We appreciate you joining us. So tell us a little bit. Obviously, you had touched on you're a 12-step guy as well. Mm-hmm. So also in the recovery space, not just somebody who, and we see it in the industry, they get looked at as more of like a money play, but you're one of us who actually believes in the process, has been through the process yourself, and now you're helping other people. So tell us a little bit of that background, and then we can kind of get into why you decided you wanted to start Desert Recovery Centers.
Yeah, I'm a 12-step guy. That's truly what it is. Most people will classify me as a big book thumper. So I'm the guy that when you talk about, we could all agree that steps 1, 2, and 3 are the foundation of the program. Everyone, we can agree to it. We can also agree that the power from the knowledge comes from the application of it, right? Thanks. So we got to be able to apply it, the action, right? And then I go, okay, so it's the foundation and action is required, right? So how are you applying steps 1, 2, and 3 every single day? How do you do it, right? And they go, recess lighting. I don't know what's going on up there. Some tile ceiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we get lost in it, man. And Desert Recovery Centers isn't my recovery. I have service commitments. I still have men in the book. My sobriety date is February 4th of 2018. And I still have the non-negotiables in my recovery in check. But, dude, it took me a very long time to figure it out. I'm 42 years old. I'm going to be 43. I grew up in Peoria, Arizona. Shout out Cactus Cobras.
Hey.
Italian, big family. They all lived in New York. We were the outsiders that moved all the way out to Arizona. So we grew up kind of everybody on the East Coast. We were out here. But I had a great childhood. My parents are still married. I'm basically our demographic, right? With Plugged In and Desert Recovery Centers, right? We got, business people on FMLAs, insurance that comes with your profession, right? Or we have, celebrities, actors, athletes, right? And then we also have spoiled kids, right? That were on their parents' insurance till they're 26. That was me. Parents, man, prevented evictions, co-signed everything. They took care of me like a 3-year-old till I was 35 years old, bro. But I had a great childhood, and a big part of my childhood was also soccer. I love soccer. I play soccer. I was pretty damn good at soccer, but I like to party more than I like to play soccer. It appeared, and that's really what prevented me from really taking it to the next level, But throughout high school, I experimented with all kinds of drugs. I like to party, that was my thing. I felt connection through others, through partying, Some of my biggest character defects are people pleasing. I want to be liked by everybody. I think I can read your mind. I don't like confrontation, right? I could talk about being a drug dealer, but the thing is I was always hustling backwards because I wanted to be liked so much, right? It's like me, I give you a good deal, bro. I'm cool, aren't I? Like me, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so throughout high school, I was a captain of every team I'd ever been on, won all the awards, on the field, great leader, off the field, complete moron, bro. You know, my alcoholic mentality that the big book talks about, some of those character defects are lie, cheat, manipulate, steal, right? So this is what high school looked like for me. I got grounded if I got C's. Like, those are unacceptable.
Yep.
So instead of trying, I made fake report cards, right?
Oh.
And we're talking 96, 7, 8, 9, where you had to go to like Office Max, get rice paper, make it with a mouse, right? Like, we're talking, you know, progress reports, report cards, not getting grounded anymore. You know, they have that, they make that phone call when you miss class, your son or daughter's missed one or more. Boom, call Quest. Yeah, we don't get that call anymore. We're going to block that number, right? Sneaking out, stealing their cars. Everything else was more important than being respectful to my family, right? And anytime I had 3 hours alone at the house, I was throwing a party. Minor consumptions, car accidents. I mean, you name it, it happened. And so finally I was getting ready to graduate high school. I had soccer scholarships all over the country. And then I realized my mom was right. You need good grades.
Oh, no.
Like, that's also important to get the scholarship. I had like a 2.7, right? And so my parents got an SAT tutor. I studied for the SAT test. And we say a whole bunch of things in the 12-step program, like cunning, baffling, powerful. Well, the baffling part is the utter inability to leave it alone, no matter how great the necessity or the wish, right?
Yeah.
I could see the need in every aspect of my life. I could wish it, I could pray it, but I can't not do it. So I have the SAT test on Monday. I have a party. Someone gives me some acid for a cup at the keg.
Oh, no.
Right? And I'm holding on to it. I'm holding, you know, I know exactly where it's at. I'm that guy, right? I'm holding right on to it, dude. I know. Right, and I'm fighting it, dude, for 40 hours. You can't take this. You know you can't take this. You know this is a bad move. No, you can't take. I take it right before the test, bro. So I go to Cactus High School, and I make a design. Shit got weird, and I bounced. I ended up getting a soccer scholarship, though. I did, and I got one to Phoenix College. And so I go to Phoenix College in 2001 on a soccer scholarship. Right before I start school, I'm a drug dealer, right? And I tell everyone I'm like connected to the mob. I got like a stub nose 38 special, right? I'm Italian. I'm New York. You know what it is out there, Omerta, right? Like, I'm cool, right? So I'm rolling around with a gun and a scale, and you know I'm trying to weigh out a quarter pound. I got to pinch a gram, you know, right? Because I'm giving such a good deal. That gram is so important, right?
Yeah.
So I try to use a community mailbox in broad daylight. They think I'm breaking into the mailbox. I get arrested for the first time. Pound of weed, gun, 100 bags. Safe in the car, not locked, right? And I find myself in Madison Street Jail, right? And I get put on probation. About 30 days after that, I get aggravated extreme DUI, hit a stop sign, light pole, a house. That was a Wednesday morning. That was a wild Tuesday night, brother. You know, I almost kill a family. Wake up in the hospital, I'm cuffed to the bed. My mom and my dad are like, all right, he's alive, let's go. I see the cop has a ticket there for me. It's in my fake ID's name. Matt McCarty, if you're listening to this right now, I owe you an amends. You didn't deserve to be treated that way. It did come back. I ended up doing the time on it, but it was in his name, so I signed it. You know, they left, my parents left, the cops left. So now I'm on probation. I got aggravated DUI hanging out in the wind, and now I'm going to college. Look how good I'm doing, Mom, right?
Yeah.
Be proud of me, right?
Yeah.
But deep down in my heart, I know the truth.
Yeah.
Just like it talks about in the fifth step, right? I tremble to think someone might have observed the things that I do on my sprees. These memories are a nightmare, right? I'm under constant fear and tension. Dude, my mom's a question asker. Like, I needed like a cheat sheet, brother.
Yeah.
Before Sunday dinner, like, where do I work?
Yeah.
What was the last money for? What kind of work boots? Never done manual labor in my life. Had 17 work boots, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and so I end up playing soccer. I'm captain of the team. Like I said, dude, on the field, dude, I was a captain of every team I've ever been on. Off the field, not so much, you know? So I get the captain's armband and I tell my team, hey, we're going to take a team building trip. We're going to go to Crown King camping, everybody. Now, I don't know about you, bro, but the only way I know how to really get to know somebody is to take mushrooms.
Okay.
So I make everybody on the team take mushrooms, right? We lose 2 players in the forest to Crown King, dude. We have to call coach. We got to call their parents. We ended up finding them. They survived, right? Sell coke to a female soccer player. She's got a defective ventricle in her heart, had a heart attack, almost died, right? Got it from me. I literally had a chaperone walking me to and from class, but on the field, I'm showing out, right? I get my shit together. I'm on probation. I'm getting ready to graduate now. I got soccer scholarships all over the country. And I tell my PO, hey, I want to go to spring break. Have you been on probation, right? Lots of probation, dude, right? And I say, finally, I'm doing everything right. I blame Mark Herman. That's his name, my PO. I blamed this man, dude, for a long time, dude, until I did my 4-step, right? And looked at my part, And so I asked Mark, I'm like, hey, man, can I get one of them travel passes? I want to go to Miami for spring break, right? He's like, absolutely not. I'm like, fuck that. He'll never remember, right? He'll never remember. What, you think he remembered?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
He's got one job.
Dude, he remembered, right? I'm in Miami. He calls me. Boom. So now I come back, and I immediately move, change addresses, and I'm out, right? I have a bunch of soccer scholarship opportunities, and every time I go to these colleges, they want to throw me a party, right? And I get blackout drunk. I piss myself. I try to fight everybody. I'm trying to hook up with the girls, the dudes, the fucking the cactus, whatever, dude. Yeah. Right? Where's the rave? I'm not really concerned so much. Like really, one time they lost me. Like imagine that, dude. They're like, where did this new guy go? Right? They show up to the field. I'm already there. I met some dudes at a gas station, hit a rave. In my street clothes still. I show up for the game. You think I got many opportunities? Not so much. Ended up suffering a knee injury, and that's where really my life started to take a change, man. And really my dream was crushed. I had no backup plan. I was going to play soccer. That was it, right? And so I told you, lie, cheat, manipulate, steal. What that also means, my brother, is that I'm a badass telemarketer.
Okay.
Like what that means, dude, is I am cold piece on the phone.
You got talent.
And that's why when we talk about step 6, right? And step 6 is one of those the steps that's so overlooked. It's a paragraph, bro. Yeah. I ask people, what does step 6 mean? How do you apply it? They're like, give it to recessed lighting.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I really look at step 6, the willingness to remove the objectionable, to let go of these character defects, to let go of everything in step 4 and step 5 and say, the sum of my actions today is a representation of who I am, not 2014, not yesterday, today, and who is this man, right? The character assets that I possess and the character defects I'm going to turn into assets and work on constant never-ending growth, right? So then when I do the 7-step prayer and I say, my creator, I'm now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. Now I know what I'm working with, right? Now I know what humility I'm practicing, right? But for me, it was really hard because those character defects were assets to my addiction, assets to my profession. It's what I did, right? So step 6 was one of those ones, very important. And so now I'm on a violation of probation. I screw off I'm injured. At the same time I'm injured, I also jump into a campfire, trying to jump over it with an injured leg. And so now I'm getting perks for both my knee and my arm, bro. And so the only job I ever had was telemarketing, so I'm good at it. I start my own telemarketing company. I'm a licensed dealer for ADT. I'm eating like 100 Percocets a day, bro. Like it doesn't matter if they're 5, 7.5s, 10s, 30 at a time, no matter what, right? I literally make my own job applications and I add a question, and that question is, are you on any prescription medication? Check yes or no. Right? Right? What do you got? Lois, we're going to put you in cube 3. The 8th of every month, I'll be taking you to Osco Drug. Bro. But I couldn't get enough pills, and I'm running this telemarketing company. I mean, we're making some money, but it's all going to pills. I get turned on to 80 milligram Oxycontins because it's going to be cheaper.
Yep.
And, in all honesty, it was cheaper for like 3 days.
To start?
Yeah.
It always is to start.
A couple days, right? I meet this guy, buying off him for a while, and he's selling me for cheap. Long story short, he's writing prescriptions. I'm like, oh, shit, right? And this is in 2003 and 4.
Okay.
So a whole different world back then, right?
Yep.
And so long story short, he shows me the prescription game. I start writing prescriptions, right? Close the telemarketing company down. I'm just getting high, writing scripts. On the run from probation, aggravated DUI out there. Look how good I'm doing, Mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You should be proud.
What kind of lies can I tell my poor sweet mom so she could be proud of me, right? And so finally, I'm Italian soccer. Italy wins the World Cup in 2006, July, right? I'm like, Oxycontin's on me. I'll be right back, right? Shoot up to the fries. I'm talking to the pharmacist, been there many a time. I don't follow any of my rules. At the corner of my eye, I see a pharmacy tech, and I'm like, uh-oh, on the phone in the back. I'm like, that ain't good. Fake phone call. right?
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm at, right? And as soon as I get to the fries, the cops come, they draw me down at gunpoint. I try to take off. So I get arrested. And I got 7 prescriptions in my wallet that were in my own name because I'm so smart. I did them all in my own name.
Yeah.
Right? And I've been on the run from probation, and I got the aggravated DUI and 7 counts of forgery. Now I find myself sitting in county jail. Right? Here we are. All right, now I need a connection to a higher power. God, please help. Right?
Yeah, get me out of this.
If I could just be a solid wood and do push-ups, everything's going to be good. Can't wait to get home for Christmas. Not make any changes. So when it was all said and done, I got page 2'd pretty much every day, dude. Every other day for about, I don't know, realistically 3 months, dude. And ended up with over 200 counts of forgery. Every single script that I did in my own name, they weren't linked back then. So I could go to 6, Fry's pharmacies in one day.
Yeah.
Pick up, drop off, right? And I was getting, 90, 80 milligram Oxycontins for $116, doing 13 cents. Dude, it was too easy, right? But what I also acquired is a bad drug habit. So that day I get arrested. I find myself in county jail. And when it's all said and done, I catch a 3.5-year prison sentence. And I go to prison, right? And this is in 2006. And again, dude, I thought if I was just a solid wood, which Pecker Woods, I'm Italian, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah,
but whatever. They think I'm Mexican. When it's really bad for me, I'm a booster, so I'm like out on the streets, so I look really dark.
Yeah. So
the Mexicans usually help me make my bed first.
Fair.
But I literally did push-ups and thought that everything was going to be different when I got out. And goals you don't achieve, those are called good ideas. And so I had a whole bunch of good ideas, right? And I get released in 2009. I start running this auto glass company. I have about 80 door-to-door guys, right? About 80 reps, 6 company houses, and I'm running the show. Shout out to my beautiful wife. I met her in 2009. We're having a wedding this year, bro. 15 years. Once you hear the rest of the story, 8-year prison sentence. We got 2 daughters, and we're having our wedding, our moment this year, dude. And
that's
everything
awesome.
we've been through, dude, we deserve. My sponsors officiating it. I have my friends from childhood that are all sober now through 12-step recovery. I got my friends that I got sober with in prison that are now out that are still part of my life. My sponsors officiating it, dude, and we're about to have some fun, bro.
That's awesome.
And that is just one of the blessings and promises of recovery, but I still wasn't there yet, So I'm running this auto glass place. I get the Mercedes, right? I get the condo.
Looks
right?
good on the outside.
I'm on probation. I'm not doing anything because I'm on probation, right? So
Yeah.
I'm saving money, right? Then I get out probation. The book tells me exactly what that is. It says, fall victim to a belief which practically every alcoholic has, that his long period of sobriety and self-discipline qualified him to drink like other men. I can go to Vegas. Not a big deal, right? I go to Vegas with my best friend. Right? We're there for one night, dude. Halloween. He's dressed up as Dog the Bounty Hunter. I'm a ShamWow guy, dude. We're there one night, bro. Right? Wake up, blacked out like the hangover, dude, I'm the guy who pisses himself, bro. I think I'm in the bathroom, but I'm really in the corner, in my closet, or wherever, So I wake up, blacked out. I think I have a bunch of money, but it's just overdraft receipts. When you spend like $250 to take out $250.
Yeah.
I did that till I had no more money. Right, my friend was in the bathroom a lot. Shout out Baker. Got 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing, dude. And long story short, he hooks me up with one. There's one of my old friends, snorted 80 milligram Oxycontin. Here we go.
Off to the races.
But I got the nice car. I got the beautiful girl. I got the money coming in that I could at least look like. I'm always broke. Literally, my first date with my poor, sweet wife, dude, my card declined, bro. Like, literally card declined, dude.
And
she had to pay.
So she's the one.
Oh, she's the one.
She's
bro.
there.
Oh, I know. There's no doubt about that. And I fall victim to that belief. Now I'm doing pills. And it's cunning as well. So to let you put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, and I did for a while, and then I picked it up and couldn't put it down.
Yep.
Right? And then that obsession kicked in fully, and the powerlessness and the unmanageability, dude. And then everything started to crumble around me, dude. My wife's 5 months pregnant. I'm literally boosting to make ultrasound appointments, bro. Right? Oxys are gone. I'm doing heroin. Right? Like everything is gone. I get into a major car accident with employees in the vehicle, nodded out at the wheel, majorly injure somebody, lose that job. We go Sunday dinner to her parents' house, right? And she's 5 months pregnant, dude, and I didn't have time to pull a rabbit out of a hat, right? Boost, fence, pick up, right? So we get to her house, 10 a.m., her parents' house. Naturally, I got to leave, right? I'll be right back. Right? Fast forward 3 a.m., you know, I'm smoking crack, doing fucking heroin in the Fry's parking lot in the summertime with a car turned off because I think it's going to blow up, and I'm just only looking out the rearview mirror, just analyzing my life like what's going to be so much fun in recovery, you know?
Yeah.
Right? So finally I have to go back. I do the walk of shame, and I get honest for the first time, and I'm like, I got a problem, right? And I go to Community Bridges. There wasn't plugged in. I didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of these options like Desert Recovery Centers and plugged in, these amazing out-of-network facilities that have the ability to provide you with all those things. But I went to Mesa Drive Community Bridges, right?
Been there.
And then after that, my wife moved in with her family, bro, and 5 months pregnant. I went to Crossroads, dude. Big shout out to Crossroads, man. I have a service commitment there, Midtown. Come see me, 4 years straight, Saturday night, 7 p.m. in the book. Come see me, but I do all my service work there because they gave me a scholarship and took me in when nobody else would. I literally had nowhere to go, bro, and they took me in. They take me in. I do the 16-day right track program. Then you would move to the other side and go work.
Yep.
I said, point me to the closest telemarketing company. Mile that way. I sell 3 windshields on the way there, right? Door knocking. Walk in, and that's where I met Ron Alessi. He was the general manager of the phone room. I make $1,000 check my first week. Deuces. From Crossroads, thanks guys, love and respect. Yeah. See you at the meetings, right? And what they call that is self-knowledge, right? And that's what the book tells me that is.
Yeah.
Just knowing, right? And not treating it. Like, yeah, they told me everything I need to know. 16 days straight of it. Now I know.
Yeah.
I'm good. Literally went to that shell, bought Spice from Arcadia. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's legal, doesn't count.
Yeah.
Demi Lovato sober, right? We're going to do that. So I get into this new telemarketing game, right? Move out to Chandler. I'm just smoking Spice. We have the baby. We start a telemarketing office, Ron and myself. And then he's doing meth. I relapse. I can't stay on the methadone clinic. I'm on and off. Now we've got stolen property coming in and out of our facility. Our Chandler police hate us. We have 40 telemarketers. We're all boosters. Right? Yeah. They're trying to serve warrants. We're like, no, well, let me see it. Right? Call your sergeant. Right? Like public enemy number one in Chandler, and so everything goes so good till it goes so bad, dude. And one day I come home and I check the mail and I got a grand jury indictment for a class 2 felony, bro. My heart sinks. I'm going, oh my God, I'm going back to prison. I could see that sentence. I'm gonna throw up my mouth. That sentencing chart, bro. With all those prior convictions that I got, with that class 2, murder being 1, trafficking stolen property, I thought it was like misdemeanor shoplifting, but I mean, that's my delusional. When I'm stealing $5,000 a day, that's called organized retail theft. They frown upon that way, like jacking off on an airplane. They don't like that shit.
They don't like it.
No, dude.
Oh, no.
And so, boom, I get this grand jury indictment. I walk in the house. My wife's like, you okay? I'm like, nah. No, I'm not. At first I was like, yeah, I'm fine. For like a week, I'm going to my office and I'm just sitting in there, dude. Finally, I'm like, fuck it. The only solution I know is full scale relapse. So now I'm getting heroin and meth and all the things, dude. And now I'm just getting naked, researching my case, jerking off, like just getting weird. Like, how am I gonna beat this, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm gonna set my family up, right? So I go to court, I get OR'd, right? 2 weeks later, I get pulled over. You got a warrant, organized retail theft, right? Boom, ankle monitor. 2 weeks later, I get pulled over again. Another one, organized retail theft. Boom, $35,000 cash only bond. Now I'm full scale into heroin, right? Dude, like overdose, right? In front of my family, spend 5 days in the ICU. As soon as I come out of it in ICU, I got a fucking suicide chaperone sitting there, and I know I got a joint in my pocket. I literally get off after 5 days of being in a coma in the hospital, bro, jump into the toilet, light a joint, dude, and literally take one puff, and the cops are there. My dad walks in. Like, that's the insanity, bro. I come back. I tell my dad, hey, I need to go to a meeting. Can I borrow the car? Steal money out of his wallet. He's like, you need to get a signature from the meeting. I have the paisa. The dope man sign my card.
Of course.
Like, that's how I'm living my life, bro.
Yeah.
So long story short, I end up getting arrested again for a gram of heroin, dude. So I violate all 3 releases with possession of heroin, bro. Now there is no release, right? And so I find myself sitting in county jail, and I'm going, oh my God, psych meds, right?
Yeah.
I always am trying to fix this internal problem with an external solution, and it never worked. Right? And that's what the program gave me, the book, the connection to a power, the ability to understand how to utilize this power through a 50-50 relationship, what I'm supposed to do each day to create change, dude. And once I figured out, my life changed. But I still needed more research, right? So when it was all said and done, I got an 8-year prison sentence in 2014, bro. So from 2014 to 2021, I was incarcerated in Department of Corrections. My wife was with me. Shout out to her. I watched my daughter was 2. She was 9 when I got out. She's 13 now. I have a 3-year-old daughter now. I'm a girl dad. I watched my daughter grow up through visitation. The book says a lot of cool things. I know you've read it, but pick it up. There's a lot of good things in there, dude. Another thing it tells me, it says there must be no reservation of any kind nor any lurking notion that someday I'll be immune to drugs and alcohol, right? And here's an example of reservation. Reservation could be that one pipe you still got in the trunk of your car and you're in treatment, you know it's there. That one phone number, you delete all the phone numbers but the best connect because you're going to help him find recovery, right? You just cruise the old neighborhood just to see who's out front to invite him to a meeting, right? Right? If my parents die, if my girl leaves me. And so my reservation was if I ever lost my visits or my wife left me through this time, dude, then it was on. And I'm going to nod out 5 years. Just real quick, right? And so long story short, she couldn't keep her hands off me, Wade, in visitation. She couldn't keep her damn hands to herself, brother. All them push-ups and dips, I would pull-ups, bro. God, she couldn't keep her hands on the table, It was the other way around, I couldn't keep my hands to myself. I got in trouble, and they hit me with a misconduct in visitation ticket, which is a Class A conspiracy to commit misconduct, like bringing in dope into visitation for trying to, get some action.
Wow.
I lost my visits, dude. As soon as I lost my visits, bro, I went straight to the tents and got high. My reservation was already there. I planned it. I said it 1,000,000 times to everyone the 2 years prior to that I've been incarcerated with, dude. Because I let you come get high at my cell because I'm so cool. Bring your felonies to my house. I don't even do them, right? I'll keep point for you. Don't even trip, bro. Can't wait to get home for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Dude, and I would tell him that reservation, literally verbalized it 40 times, bro. And as soon as I lost my visits, I got high. Dude that left the next day left me a phone. He said, call me in the morning. I'll make a drop for you. So now here I go the next year in prison, hitting with ounces of heroin, dude. Again, every week, 3 times a week. Rigs, Suboxone, you name it, dude. 3 times a week I had a drop, right? I'm in Florence North Unit. We got 300 outside jobs, right? But what ended up happening is I picked up the worst drug habit than I ever had. I was using a needle. I never did that out here. I'm using a needle now, and I'm doing about 2 grams a day in prison. Now, it's all fine and dandy when you're getting 15 a day. But, dude, that gram's like $800 if you're not the guy.
Right.
Right? And then all of a sudden, my guy got arrested, and now I'm not the guy, and now I have this crazy habit, and I can't do enough to stay well. So what that means is the selfishness, dude, is on full-scale hit. Just here's one example of that, right? My wife goes to New York to see my family for Christmas, right? I call her from the yard. Shit's going bad, right? Call her from the yard, thinking hey, it's going to be a good call, right? Hey, babe. I'm like, oh, God. It could be a plethora of things, right, at this point. Right? She's like, how many TVs? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm here with all your aunts. All 5 of them bought you a TV this year. And I'm like, yeah, North Unit is a lot of fighting, right? Like, I got to run with it, right? Like, it's live over here, babe. I didn't break any TVs. I spent all the money on dope, That's just one example. I mean, my parents thought they were paying for college. They thought I was a doctor by the time I got out with all the college classes I was taking, right? We got to get creative, Mom, for this Rio Salado class. I'm on LOP. I need you to put it on Jose's books, Chihuahua, Mexico. Western Union, as a matter of fact, right? I tell my parents today, we bought a house together, dude. I get to go to their house and contribute to their life today, bro. Like, just doing yard work, I'll start crying. It just makes me so happy. I took from them, dude. Everything they had, bro, I took. For 30 years, dude. And now to be able to give back, anytime, anything comes up, like gift or what, I'm like, Western Union, Mom, Dad, calm down. They never said no to me, bro. They didn't. They loved me through the whole damn thing, dude. Big shout out to them, And so, back in this time in Florence North Unit, when you were a troublemaker, they would send you to Kingman. So at this time, I am 105 pounds. I've been in 6 high-speed foot chases with the cops. I'm running around the yard, freaking throwing cell phones, and you know what I mean? Literally, I got 10 years in my pocket at all times on a nod in the middle of the yard. That's how I'm living my life, right? I got a catheter, though, so I'm passing all my UAs. It's a mystery. No one knows, right? After the 17th one I passed, finally they're like, all right, send him to Kingman, right? And so I get to Kingman. And this is where my story really starts of really the gift of pain and desperation, you know? I get there, dude, and coming from Florence to Kingman, the whole IHP and this whole, we were already considered pieces of shit just coming from there, right? So we get there, and I'm just kind of excited because I heard there's $40 grams. It's cheaper there. I'm dope sick. I got spice in my butt. You know what I mean? Like 6-hour ride on the bus, shackled from head to toe, dude, and I am ready, dude, right? So we get off the bus, we get there, I get housed, and the head of the building comes up, and he's like, yeah, you're going to be on blocks for 30 days. And for you who don't know what that means like no movement on the yard, no cell phone, no drug deals, don't borrow anything from anyone, don't ask a favor from anyone, don't talk shit to anyone, just mind your own damn business, let us keep eyes and make sure you're going to be okay here. And I was like, fuck that. Where's the dope at, dude? Like, where's the chopper? Like, we can run that fade right now, right? And I could laugh about it today, but I don't like the fight. I'm not good at it. Right? You know, I joke about being like 0-47, you know?
Yeah.
I'm the dude who calls you out, gets beat up, then has to fight someone else for getting beat up after calling you out. Right? Like, right? Like, you know, and so I can laugh about today, man, because it really propelled me into recovery. But I got the scar above my eye from that fight right there, dude, and immediately got whooped by this youngster. You know, my 2 front teeth 7 years later, dude, are still sensitive to hot and cold. You know what I mean? Like, I had to pull them forward. It got to the point where I was just pencil whooping, you know, or just penciling in ass whoopings right into my goddamn day, right? Like, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to get beat up, right? Anytime I went in the bathroom, they sent 2 in on me on site, right? Wake up, I'm going to get beat up, I'm going to get a soup from every store on the yard, right? Because that's the line of credit I got, 30 cents.
Yeah.
If I can get 17 of them, I can get a paper, which is a little piece of heroin, right, to stay well. Then I'm going to just dodge the whole yard for 5 hours until the yard closes. Right? And then I'm going to go lay down on my rack and hope that they don't beat me up. And then in the middle of the night, I'm going to smoke some spice when no one's around, dude. And then what happens in the middle of the night is they have that man down spice, dude, in the middle of the night in a pod with 100 people. And I'm that guy. It's no secret what I've been up to and things that have happened to me. And all of a sudden you do the pterodactyl, dude, at 3 o'clock in the morning where you lock up on spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, pterodactyl, dude. And all of a sudden now here I am, bro. Pterodactyl at 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. And this is like a 30-day time period where I am literally getting beat up every single day, dude. Like, they're telling me, bitch, leave. You got to, you know, all this shit. I'm like, run it. We run it on site all day long. We can do this, right? So some meth hits the yard. That's really not my jam. But I do some meth, and I plot on the head of the building, dude, for like 3 days straight. I'm under the blankets, right? I'm like, I'm going to fuck this dude up, right? And so as soon as the lights crack on 5 a.m., I'm right at his rack. I'm like, hey, what's up, bitch? Why don't you handle your business like a man? Come see me, right? Boom, right to the bathroom. And this dude had hands, bro. Like he got me good, dude. Like probably the worst one I ever got, dude, out of that like 45-day time period, bro. And this is what I just tell people the truth because this is really what my life had become, you know. They literally threw miscellaneous shirts at me and were like, clean that blood up, bitch. And just walked away, and I'm just laying on the ground. Like, that's what my life become, bro, right? That day, I didn't even try to clean up the blood, bro. I just went right back to my rack, dude, and just put my headphones on. I got bloody nose, right? Cops see the blood, lock it down, knuckle body checks. They take one look at me, and they're like, oh, my God, dude. Cuff up, boom, now I'm in the hole. I got my visits back that day, right? Take another UA, lose my visits again, dude. So now I know that Sunday night, 10 p.m., loss of privileges kick in. You get 1 10-minute phone call in the hole. And I know that, dude. I just need that one call. So I could lie to my wife and tell her, hey, babe, this UA that you're about to see, it's a misunderstanding, right? Yeah. I had this bright idea if I put like 7 8-inch pubes into the cup, it would be like a snake. They'd open and be like, oh, shit. Contaminated sample, right? I'm in the vent to my cellie next door. I'm like, hey, homie, hey, 84C3, brother, contaminated sample. I got this shit beat, brother. Right? You want to play chess later?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 221-882, you're on report. Right? And so for that whole week, I just want that one call, dude, so I can lie to her, try to smooth that over. They're screwing me, babe. You know how DOC is, right? Can you put some money in my books? I love you. Please don't leave me, right?
Yeah.
And so for this whole week, every time they walk by my cell, single man cell, I'm banging on the door. Phone call, phone call. And if you were going to get a phone call, they move the clipboard from one side down. So every day they move my clipboard down. That's the first step, right? But now it's even pissing you off more because now you're in line, but I'm on 17 and they start at 1 every single day. They never make it past 12. Right? So I'm like losing it, dude. Like we don't get phone calls down here. So like for a week straight, dude. And then what ends up happening, dude, is finally Sunday night, 10 p.m., dude, happens and they turn those lights off, bro. And it's shift change. And I know I'm on loss of privileges, dude. I didn't get that phone call, bro. And I literally had a break from reality. I started flooding my cell. I started screaming, yelling, crying, kicking, all that, bro. And the cops came. They didn't bring the phone. I'm yelling, phone. I just want a phone call. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm losing it, bro. But what they did is they brought the cell extract team, right? So they extracted me out the cell. They put me in the restraint chair, dude. They wheel me. I got a spit mask on.
No.
What do you think the hole's doing as you're rolling down, Park Central, dude? They're banging on the doors. I'm freaking out. I'm crying. They put me in a porter closet with a bunch of brooms, dude, and I just cried, bro. And I'm just going, dude, this is what my life has become, dude. Like, my parents want nothing to do with me. I've screwed over every family member that I have. My wife is just done, dude. I'm not going to be able to see him or talk to him for a year. I'm in the hole. I'm strung out, But what I had is a real big realization, dude. And that big realization is love is an action word, man. Fuck, it took me so long to figure that out, dude. I used to call my wife from the yard and be like, hey, what's up, babe? This is exactly how it will go, bro. Hey, what's up, babe? Yeah, hey, grab a pen and a piece of paper for me real quick. Okay, cool. All right. Hey, did the homies girl hit you back? What about the other homies girl? No? Hey, write this message down. I need you to send this one out. Just a text message. And then this one's a phone call. And dude might be sending some money too, and I'll follow up with you tomorrow. Can you send me a Western Union real quick and do it on this call? I only got one call. Yeah, we're going to be locked down after this. Can you just get that? I have a pen and a piece of paper too. I want you to read it back. Write it down so we get it right. Okay. Are you going to be here this weekend? Yeah, make sure you bring quarters. Are you going to be here first? Okay, cool. All right, I love you. And she'd be like, dude, stop saying that. And I would literally hang up the phone. I remember so many times I would hang up the phone going, like, baffled. Like, she has the audacity? How does she not know that I love her? Well, dude, love's an action word, dude. And in that moment and in that restraint chair, dude, when they dumped me on the floor, dude, I realized that, dude. Like, my actions are showing that I hate everybody in my life that mean the most to me, dude. And it became unacceptable, bro. And I had a little bit of willingness to do something different. But, dude, I was a piece of shit, dude. So do you think my property made it to the hole?
No.
Hell no, dude. No. So I have nothing at this point, dude. I literally have one property box, dude. That's it, dude. I'm 3.5 years in. I'm halfway through an 8-year prison sentence, right? And I sit in that hole for 90 days, dude. And then finally they're like, we're going to move you to another yard. I'm like, thank God, right? You want to go back on the yard? I'm like, does it look like I'm making any friends? Right? And so I'm in the hole, and finally they go to move me, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I know one place I'm probably going to go to Yuma. I haven't been there, right? Douglas was my first prison sentence. I know for sure I'm not going back to North Unit, right? I get on the bus. I'm like, where am I going? North Unit. I'm like, whoa. Now, I know that to be God today, dude. Now, when I went back to the yard, I owed like $3,000 on the yard, right? I didn't leave, right? It was an institutional move, right? Yeah. But, Josh Schnitzel, you've seen him from meetings. Yeah, right? So I gave him fake Western Union numbers. He was like my friend, bro, like my roll dog. I literally slid this man fake Western Union. I got you, dog. I wouldn't do you like that. $350, here you go. Literally fucking my old phone number. So immediately, the only program I have ever worked prior to the one I work today is step 1 and step 9 only, right? Yeah. Powerless, unmanageable, can't lie anymore. Amends, I'm sorry. Repeat the behavior, right? Immediately, usually within like 10 minutes, I repeat the same behavior. So he's coming to look for me because everybody knows I'm coming back to the yard, dude. And, and so I go to him. I do step 1 and 9. He's like, look, dude. He's like, we'll figure the money out. Don't even worry about that. I'm like, I need socks. Like, I had nothing, bro. Right? Like, literally, he had to give me socks, And he said, you want to make that money, right? I was like, bro, I'll do anything. I feel so bad, right? Because I'm sober now. I feel again, right? And he's like, well, I found recovery. I don't want to leave you behind, bro. There's a meeting tonight. Come to the meeting with me. I don't want to leave you behind. And right before they sent me to Kingman, like, he was like my friend. He got a bunch of tickets. Got moved to the tents, got caught with dope, like, you know what I mean? So he found recovery. And like, I would tell him, hey, when you want to relapse, come see me, dog. Like, I was a dope man, and he was my best friend on the yard was now, And so he says that to me, and I'm like, you know what? I'll go, right? And so the big book talks about it, dude. The doctor's opinion. It says, from a trembling, despairing, nervous wreck emerged a man brimming over with self-reliance and contentment. I talked with him for some time, but was not able to bring myself to feel I had known him before. To me, he was a stranger and a long time has passed with no return to alcohol, right? I walked into that trailer, bro, and there was about 10 men in there, and 7 of them, dude, I was in the spoon with. And I didn't recognize them, dude. The look in their eye, the tone of their voice, dude. The New Balances, bro, right? The shine and, dude, the things they were speaking, the vulnerability, dude, the courage. I was like, whoa, right? And there was this man that was sitting in front of me, dude, and we're in a little circle, and he's sharing, right? And he's looking dead into my eyes, and I'm just crying, dude. I'm broken at this point, you know, and that man touched my heart, and I asked him to be my sponsor. And that from that moment on, dude, my life changed. He's officiating my wedding. But it wasn't like I just went to all the meetings, and it wasn't just like, you know, I made coffee. It was like the book, dude. You know, like I went on to sponsor like 100 men on that yard, taught the drug class. To teach something is to master it, dude. But before I could do any of that and give it away, I had to get spiritually fit and figure out what the hell it means, right? And so when I really start to look at this, step 1, what's that mean? Well, once I start, I can't stop. And even when I want to stop, right, I'm still doing it. It's like autopilot. I have every reason to stop, but I can't not do it. Check. Poor control over stopping, yes. Poor control over the amount you use when you use, yes. Continued use despite negative consequences. I got a decade in prison, dude. That is dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There's step 1. Unmanageability. What's that look like? Well, like shit, there was a time period where I couldn't keep a phone on for past 30 days without it being shut off because I couldn't pay the bill, and I'd hustle it up for 4 days, right? Car, all the things. I'm rolling around in a Mercedes, but the truth is there's no insurance. I put $1.14 in the gas tank 3 times a day, right? And it's getting repoed at any point in time, right? And so step 1. And then I started to understand really what step 2 is, dude. We agnostics is designed to rebuttal you before you could object to the reasons why you can't believe in a higher power. Well, the good news is it does not matter what your conception of a higher power is. Your part is still the same, dude.
Yeah.
It's still the same. Whether it's Jesus, laws of attraction, karmic cycle, love, the fellowship, good orderly direction. Because remember, what we're creating is a 50-50 relationship, right? With our higher power. And our 50% is the action steps each day. And your higher power's 50% is the outcomes in your life, right? So I'm going to have a little bit of honesty and a little bit of hope and a little bit of faith, the principles with steps 1, 2, and 3, that if I do my part, God's going to take care of the outcomes and shit's going to get better. Because the disease is, yes, progressively worse. Recovery gets progressively better. We never talk about that.
True.
We don't talk about that enough, dude. It's also progressive, dude, right? And so then I understood what I was really deciding to do. Because if you don't really know what steps 1, 2, or 3 are, we talked about that as we started, it's 2 conclusions and a decision. It's like, well, I'm not plugged in again.
Yeah.
Mom's bringing smokes. I already got the address and GPS. That's powerless and unmanageability. Great. Okay, cool. Wade wants me to believe in this power. Okay, bro, I believe. Okay, now I'm on step. You want to make a decision, Wade? Done. Just decided. Now I'm on step 4.
Yeah.
I wonder why it's not working. And then you got some smart ass like me, dude, but really trying to get to the point to teach. And it's like, oh yeah, how you apply that every day? Sky Daddy. Right?
Yeah.
And so I really started to understand this power, to how to utilize it to make changes, you know, and just say love is your higher power. Love's an action word. How do you show love? List the spiritual characteristics associated with your love action steps. Well, I'd be loving and sober and honest and tolerant, forgiving, a good father, brother, husband, and son. Everything I've always wanted to be could never be. When I see that type of man looking back at me in the mirror, I don't want to change the way I feel anymore, right? But I got to get back to that, dude. Right? And so that little bit of hope and courage now that I have got me into step 4, right? And so I could really understand, right? Because if you asked any client that came to Plugged In or any client that came to Desert Recovery Centers when we do the initial intake, right? Why, brother? Why are we here? Some of these guys 3-4 times. Why? People ask me why for so long. And I was just like, I don't know. Right? But I can tell you today why, because I did a 4-step. I'll tell you why. Well, I was consumed with resentment. I was mad at literally everyone, but it turns out joke's on me. Like they should be, like you guys are all should be mad at me, rightfully so. My actions far supersede any petty ass reason why I might be mad. Right? So I'm pissed off at everyone, but they're really mad at me, rightfully so. Then fear touches every aspect of my life because when Jason does what he wants to do, I literally feed into every fear that I have all day long. Right? I have a fear of going back to prison. What do I do when I do what I want to do? Commit like 16 felonies a day.
Yeah.
I got a fear of dying from hep C. Keep sharing needles. Right? So I'm consumed with fear. I'm pissed off with resentment. And then ultimately the sex inventory shows me that life is a series of relationships and I don't know how to have one because I'm selfish. So all my relationships are screwed up. I'm full of fear and I'm pissed off, and drugs and alcohol work. Don't think, don't feel, don't care. So I attacked those areas, got God's sufficiency with my fears, understood my part with the resentments, got what a healthy and ideal would look like, non-negotiables in relationships, started to form interdependency, took the lead with my wife, right? And that got me into step 5, right? And I brought everything from the dark to the light. And I did it in a prison yard, dude. I sponsored hundreds of dudes on this prison yard. We would get down on our knees in the middle of the chaos, dude, and hold our hands and do a 3rd step prayer together, dude. Tony Johnson, dude, Pat Buell. These are all sponsees that are all big-time people in recovery out here that just want to help, dude. And we felt that connection behind the gates, dude, right? And so I went on to make the amends and do all the stuff with the steps, right? And I had the spiritual experience. And so for the next 3 years, I teach the drug class, right? The substance abuse. That's what gave me the passion to want to do this professionally, right? To have desert recovery centers or to work at Plugged In, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to be a part of, dude. And I hosted a recovery event, and I met Joey Landon. He was a guest speaker in a prison, 2 years to the gate. I did a comedy show. Jay Dow was there. I roasted Jay Dow. I'm just roasting everyone, doing recovery comedy. And he was a speaker, and he's like, dude, you're on fire. So when I got out, March of 2021, as soon as I got on Facebook, shout out Joey Landon. He saw me, he looked me up, and I was working there in April. Right, started out, so Sanctuary is where I got my start.
Heck yeah.
1650, right?
Yeah.
Swing shift, overnight BHT, bro. I learned this business from the ground up, right? And what ended up happening is a staff member screwed up. They UA'd the whole entire team, so what didn't look targeted, and 3 other staff members fell victim, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like, I was the guy,
Yeah.
right? You know, but when I apply myself, I could usually get there because God gave me the ability to lead and motivate and inspire, you know?
Yeah.
So I end up learning how to run a residential. I loosely start to look at some, licensing. So I'm like, damn, this sucks, right? Joint commission, right? I'm like, I'm going to start a consulting company. I'm really going to learn this shit. I'm going to master it, and I'm going to help people do it the right way. So I start a consulting company, you know? And ultimately, over the last 3 years, you know, just like you did, we're in recovery, and we see just the need for, we always say if we had the chance, we would do it this way, right?
Yeah.
You know, but when I got out of prison this time, dude, I had goals, dude, that I achieved, right? I started a podcast. That's why I love this, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went into a full scale
I
speaker
love
meeting.
it.
I didn't
I
let
love
you
it.
talk. But it just, 2 days out of prison, dude, I had a microphone and a laptop, dude, and I started the Powerless to Powerful podcast in my kitchen. And I just wanted to spread hope. Dude, I wanted to work in recovery. I got a fingerprint clearance card. I wanted to coach soccer. I'm in my 4th season coaching club soccer with my oldest daughter. It's just a dream come true. And we're practicing at Phoenix College, where I graduated from. I was the captain of the team, dude. Like, come on, man.
That's cool.
Right? I wanted to have another baby. I have a 3-year-old. We wanted to have a wedding. We're having our wedding next month. Right? I wanted to every single thing, because my whole life was always about weathering storms, bro. Right?
Yeah.
But we don't have to do that.
Surviving, not thriving.
Yeah, dude. It's not about weathering storms, but learning how to dance in the rain, dude.
Yeah.
And those steps taught me how to dance, dude. And so when I got home, those goals weren't ideas. I just put them in because that's what it teaches me, man. Get into action, you know? And so that's what I did. And I hit the ground running, try to stay as humble as I could possibly be to learn this thing. And ultimately, Desert Recovery Centers, dude, was born out of an act of service, dude. And so I have a friend. So my partner, one of the other founders, he's a childhood friend. We used to make dirt jumps in the neighborhood together, right? And so I saw this guy, dude, shout out Sergio, right? And I see him, and he's at New Freedom. I see the selfie we've all seen of all the, you get out of prison, take the selfie in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, he's at New Freedom, must have just got out. So now I'm watching him on social media. He's posting a whole bunch of things about hope, all this. I'm like, oh, dude, he's on fire. I like that. Right? I'm like, I'm going to hit him up. Maybe he needs a job, a carton of cigarettes, just a shout out. I mean, dude, I love it, right? So I hit him up on Messenger. And I'm like, what's up, bro? You want a job? I'm like, what's up? He's like, hey, do you remember Ty? And I'm like, yeah, I remember Ty. He's like, he's looking to make a jump into this business, into behavioral health. And I am not the guy you are. Hold on. Got him on the line, 3-wayed him. And the next night we were at Garcia's making a performa. And I moved, the Glendale location was his personal house. Oh, literally moved him out of his house. And so I moved him
didn't
out.
know that.
Yeah, so I moved him out of his house. So Desert was born off my 50% of the. You can't tell me, dude, that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Every outcome for 7+ years has worked out for me in my life. It's not even, and not just me, everybody who does it.
Yeah, right.
When Bill W. was dying, he said, yeah, there's one thing I would change. When they asked him, okay, dude, would you change anything, bro? He said, yeah, that one thing I would change is one word. And that one word would be from rarely have we seen a person fail, but never have we seen a person fail has thoroughly followed our path, bro. It works. Anywhere on this planet, you go to 12-step meetings, right? It is a mental health book. Yeah. Really, the doctor's opinion is the only thing that has to do with it. So I move him out of his house, right, with Desert. Then I got the second location. I licensed him myself. We did all the things, right? And then we launched in March of 2024, right? And in my head, I'm still at Sanctuary, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll use Terry's Health Services, no big deal. We'll get RNs when we need. We don't really need them. I don't think we need them. We'll be fine with that. Like, no big deal. Os will be easy, right? It's one code. How hard could it be, right?
Yeah. Just keep running.
Right? And then we launched, and I realized, there's a lot to this, dude. And I needed to get busy. I needed to apply myself, dude. And I just started writing things down, educating myself, and Googling things, and asking questions, and not being afraid to say, dude, I don't know what does EOB mean? Tell me one time, please, right? Yeah. Okay, now I know, right? Like, I had to do research and tell my partner, hey, I have to research these things. We have to make a decision, or you want to be the director. Well, you got to know what the hell you're directing, especially right now in Arizona, dude.
Big time.
Because the whole industry is starving, right? Everybody is desperate. You got consultants masquerading as consultants, right? Yeah. And just putting people in positions that are never going to work. Right. And so, we launched ultimately, and we had the ability to have Dr. Wynn, Dr. Day, and the clinical psychologist. That's what makes us us.
Yep.
We have a pipeline to clinical psychologists, and they do 12 hours a group. We have doctor-led group, mental health primary. Typically, half of our census is specifically mental health. We have gender-specific locations, one co-ed location. Currently, right now, I'm operating just 2. I just want to make sure quality of care is there. I spread myself too thin, then, because each week they get a massage, and they get a chiropractor session, and they get a soft wave therapy, and the personal trainer, and the breath work guy, and the masseuse or whatever I'm missing here, you know what I mean? And so,
at some point they forget they're in treatment.
Yeah, dude, which I want to make sure they're there because, when you first started, we kind of talked about like the struggles, and dude, insurance, I hate to see anybody die like that insurance guy that got shot, like the CEO.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But what we have to go through, dude, when I tell staff you're not a BHT, you're a client advocate. That's what you are. And you advocate through your documentation. Because the minute the documentation isn't right, or the minute that you advocate for the good things that they're doing, they're like, okay, he's ready to go. They're done.
Yeah.
You've been using drugs and alcohol, you're a co-occurring disorder, it's been 20 years untreated, and you're telling me, even if we got the 30 days, prison math don't check out, bro.
Yeah.
And you're telling me 13, that's it? Like, it breaks my heart, dude. So I was keeping them. I'm just saying, scholarship.
Yeah, scholarship.
We did like 27 earmuffs, Ty. We've done like 27 scholarships. Like 17 of them we knew about, 10 just happened, right? The whole point is the outcome, dude, right? And when I look at our Google reviews, it's not about the doctors and the trauma sessions, the amazing facilities. It's the heart of the staff.
Yep.
And that's what makes me happy, right? And I always tell everyone, I don't know how it's going to play out, right? I can't predict the future, but one thing that I know is that we'll be here by your side. We will be right here, and we will go above and beyond. And I'll never forget that 7 years, shout out Pepe, shout out Bill, shout out Big Tom. These men came and would drive an hour each way to bring meetings to us, dude. Rain or shine, bro. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. These men, the whole time I was there, dude, they brought recovery to us, dude. And I will never forget that. And that's really the secret sauce, bro.
Yeah.
How we're going to be successful is still picking up that phone at 3 a.m., dude, and helping that man that doesn't have insurance, dude, and spending the night with him just making sure he's safe.
Yeah.
And when we do that, dude, God takes care of the outcomes, dude. Everything it all works out. So it's just been a crazy year. I built that hotel project. They didn't want to listen to me about documentation. It was all over the news, right? I'm trying to tell them, hey, guys, a 1-minute ASAM ain't going to work.
Yeah.
It took you longer to write the note. You're arguing with me. Not to mention they just suspended you for it. Yeah. You're still doing it. You can't finesse this. There's only one way to do it today, and that's the right way.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, dude. It's a good thing, but really the clients have suffered the most. So that breaks my heart with the whole time period and insurance. And, there's just so much to it, dude, and really understanding how to get the best outcomes for the clients. I did joint commission myself, right? I'm done. I'm just going to do it, right? Learn myself, right? And, joint commission is all about quality improvement, dude. And that's the name of the game, dude. Because 30 days is nothing. We got to make the most of it, dude. So, I tell my mom now, hey, I've just been building a resume, all those years, I'm just building a resume. It's too soon, dude.
Yeah.
But it's been a crazy ride. So, yeah, I got released in 2021. I jumped into the industry as a BHT. I learned it from the ground up. I've always had businesses. Yeah. I'm a sales guy, but now I'm selling something I believe in because it's just like it talks about in the family afterward. Talks about being a gold miner and striking gold, joy at a release. I don't know the verbatim, but we as newcomers in recovery, when we find it, we feel like we've struck gold. But the key is all we got to do is mine for it for the rest of our life and give it all away.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is. That's all it is.
That's it, dude. So that's why I still have my service commitments. I still keep men in the book when I can, dude. And again, it's constant, never-ending growth, dude. And I fall short, dude, in a lot of areas, dude, and stress and. Up late, and I have a 3-year-old, dude, and my relationship at home suffers with my wife, and we're always constantly working on that because, there's a whole chapter in the book called To the Wives, dude. Yeah. You should read it. That's what you're going through. Yeah. It might be you. And we experience it, but we've been able to work through it, dude. And, the blessings have just materialized over and over and over again, man. But I just keep putting in the work, dude, and showing up when, I get the opportunity to come see you and be a part of or support. And, it just, that's what recovery is, dude, in action. It's just like working out. I can't just pray for a 6-pack, dude. I got to hit the gym, hit the abs, hit all the different abs, and I got to do it every day. And once I get that 6-pack, the minute I stop doing those abs, I'm not a 6-pack guy, right? It's gone. And that's the same thing, dude. So we just got to mine for it and give it all away, dude. But it took me a long time to figure that out. 10 years, dude. I have no business doing prison time, dude. The word I heard my whole life was potential, right? But I just wanted to lie, cheat, manipulate, steal. I'm smarter than everyone. I make fake ID, right? It never works, guys. It never works. It goes good, then it goes bad every time. But the last 7+ years have just been the most amazing years of my life, dude. And when I look back on those 3 years in prison, dude, those are the most valuable years of my life when I found recovery, dude. I found internal happiness with nothing, dude, and my wife and daughter not being there. I made my amends. I got my visits back early. I made amends to the cops. They gave me my visits back. My brother came down. I repaired that relationship. My parents came down, made the amends. Dude, 9 times out of 10, the unexpected happens. The book isn't changed because that's what happens. And wait, we're going to settle one thing right now, dude. The book they're not suggestions. They are damn directions. Yeah. If you want what they have, you got to do what they did. And that's what we're trying to do every day, what they did. And one day at a time is the evolution. So it's just been a crazy ride.
I love it,
to say the least, dude. It's been a crazy ride. So it's a miracle.
It is a miracle. It's a miracle. I mean, just everything you stated there from your entire journey. I mean, through prison, through saving your relationship, through all the trials and tribulations, and coming out the other side. I related to a few parts that you said. The one in particular was, where you had said, I got it. I have the time away from using, where you went to Vegas and whatnot. Yeah. And it's, how many times in my sobriety have I been the boy whistling in the wind? Yeah. I don't miss it at all. I'm doing great, right? But I didn't have anything sufficient. Mm-hmm. And then being on the other side of it, of just being in action and getting to see this every single day, that what a relief that I don't have to be in control of the results. I used to hear people all of the time.
That's a good point, dude. I like that. I'm going to pocket that little nugget,
it's and I would hear people all the time tell me, well, you have so much potential. And in my heart, I knew it, right? But that's
what made the drug use, further, dude, because we know what we're capable of and we're not doing it and everybody's pointing it out, rightfully so. Yeah. but I gotta blame you because it allows me to continue my behavior.
And then I can dig in deeper. And like I had heard somebody say, I don't know if it was a podcast or whatever it was that I was listening to, and the guy just simply said, he said, "You're not a rock." And I was, what? He's like, "You're not a rock. A rock that's like being thrown has potential. There's only so much mass and so much speed, and like that is the potential of it. But like you're a human being, like you have no idea how far you can go and in the short span that you can do it. That's like again on God,
dude.
right?
Yeah,
like God has
God,
the potential in him, and so no, man, I really, really love everything that you spoke about. Thank you for sitting down and sharing your story. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, so Desert Recovery Centers, we're gender specific. Right now, our locations in Scottsdale and Glendale, mental health primary, desertrecoverycenters.com, or you can reach out directly to me, Jason Inserra. You can find us on all the social medias, 480-271-1890. I don't care what insurance you have. I don't care where you work. I don't care about any of that stuff. If you need help, that's why I work with Wade. We got to get out of this idea that we can't all work together. We got to get out of this idea that we all can't have the levels of care. Yeah. All of us want to do that. That's the right way to do it. It's the only way we're going to sustain. So why not work together through it? Well, like you did it. You're ahead of us. That's the right way. We're all trying to help.
Yeah.
Every 4 minutes, someone's dying from fentanyl in this country. What are we even talking about, dude?
And sometimes like there's and again, that's why we put the stamp of approval on centers like yourself is and I think we felt that right away. It was kind of both filling each other out.
Yeah, you're on my podcast and we seen each other a few meetings. Yeah, and I've heard a lot about you. You know,
I think and they're a trusted partner of us that we have definitely our stamp of approval on because we understand too we are not the right fit for everyone. Just like
neither
you guys,
are we. Yeah,
right. And there's some people who come here and they don't get exactly what they want. And it's like, hey, let's get you to another place that we know you're going to get taken care of. And I know you guys have done the exact same way where it's somebody's not a fit. And it's like, we want you to go to a good place and finish your care. So I'm grateful to be partnered with you. And I hope this continues to grow, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on the show. It was fun. I just hijacked it.
That's great.
I just hijacked it.
You're good. You're so good. And I wasn't going to stop it. I didn't want to stop
thank you. My wife's going to be like, you did it again.
That's fine.
Like, you did it again.
I wanted you to.
But if you need help, please reach out. We will find you help. Like literally, it will not stop until we find you a place that can take you. Reach out to Plugged In. Reach out to Desert Recovery Centers. Ryan, Adam, the team. Reach out. We will not stop anytime, day or night. But thank you for having me on the show, man.
Thanks for coming out, dude.
Thanks.
I appreciate you.